So, Steve, how have you and the family been?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, just got back. Well, I've a really busy summer. It was really nice to spend a bit of time with my brother and his family. They came over from Canada, and they've not been over for 10 years, and I've not been over there for 6 years. So yeah, it was nice to see them, and we did loads of activities and things like that. So yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
Yeah, long time between drinks, starting it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Right, mate. So before we get stuck into your rugby story, where was home for you and who lived at home with you as a kid?
So I'm from Rochdale, and I
Yeah,
had two brothers growing up. They were both older than me, 6 years and 9 years older than me. And
right.
then mum and dad.
Yeah,
And I think that's probably where quite a lot of my competitiveness came from.
yeah,
Just competing against them, whether it was like pool, darts, rugby in the front room.
yeah.
We just wanted to beat each other, all three of us. So yeah, I probably owe a lot to them too, growing up, making me kind of the sportsman that I've kind of become.
Yeah. So how was you introduced to rugby, Steve, and where was it?
Well, my dad, you might see, I've got a Wales top on at the minute.
Yeah,
My dad's from Cardiff. He was born and bred in Cardiff,
right.
and then so he played rugby down there, and then he moved up to Rochdale when he was doing his teacher training, I think it was, and then he stayed up here. Uh, so yeah, I grew up watching videos of Wales in the 70s and 80s, and the glory days.
Yeah,
And yeah, and then I'd go up to the rugby club to Rochdale where my dad played for the first team, and I'd travel around all over the place watching my dad playing. Yeah, up in the Lake District, over in Wallasey, yeah, all over the place really.
yeah.
So that was what I kind of remember as a kid growing up. There's about two or three of us who had dads who played in the first team, and we'd all go to games and we'd play together and stuff like that. It was good fun
Right.
actually.
Yeah. So you come out the womb with a rugby ball, basically, mate, didn't you?
Pretty much,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. So what was junior club rugby like for you then? Like, do you remember much about them early days, mate? Was it a full pitch? Was it full tackle? How was it?
I think it was like across the 22, pretty much.
Right.
I'm trying to think now when we went first to tackling. I think it might have been under nines. I think it was under,
Yeah.
under sevens and eights. We used to play tag, not tag, but touch rugby.
Yeah.
Well, they had tags in them days. I think it was just touch rugby, and then I think under nines was when we started going to tackle. But yeah,
Right.
I love those days. It was brilliant. There was, like I said, there was me and a couple of lads whose dads played. Like one of my best mate now, still play with him at Rochdale now. And then there's a few other lads like a couple of years above, a couple below. Uh, so we had like a really good group of like good players at under sevens and eight
Yeah.
level. So yeah, I really, really enjoy those days. Look back fondly on those days. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was sporting life like for a young Steve? Was football involved, mate? Was there multiple sports?
Every sport I'd play. Yeah,
Yeah.
every sport. Football probably just with the kids out on the street really. We play a bit of heads and volleys out on the street. We had a field just behind our house. We play a bit of football
Any
behind there
raw
as
ass
well.
involved there or not?
I don't think we played bare ass. No, no. It was more about who kicked it down the neighbour's drive and who would have to get it.
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, but no, we played every sport growing up.
Yeah.
Wimbledon season, we'd be out at the park playing tennis.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd be playing cricket. I was quite big into my golf as well. Yeah,
Right.
just every sport I could do, I'd just be out doing as much as I could really.
And without knowing it, mate, is this starting to form the type of player you were going to be even at that age?
Possibly, yeah, yeah, just
Yeah.
like agile and because I played all sports, like basketball, things like that. It's about like ducking and
Yeah.
dodging and stuff, and that. But yeah, probably has kind of created the player that I became. Probably my height made me made me better at dodging as well because I can't
Yeah.
run through people. So I had to kind of develop the Shane Williams stepping and stuff like that. So yeah, a bit of a
Yeah.
combination of things there, really.
Always had the nerve to get your hands on the ball as quick as, mate. Always had that in you, or yeah.
Yeah. I always like that. Yeah, I always got my hands on the ball. Yeah, I played scrum half pretty much growing up as a kid, uh,
Right.
and then I kind of probably about 15, 16, kind of started playing a bit more 10.
Okay.
And then as I kind of got into adult rugby, then kind of enjoyed playing 10 more and kind of settled on that as a position, really. Yeah.
All right. So how did you see the game different from scrum half to standoff, mate? Or for viewers and listeners in rugby union from 9 to 10, isn't it?
Yeah. I think from 9, you kind of constantly looking at the now, as in like, right, we need to win this ball, and then who's running off now, who's going to be then running off the next one. Whereas I think at 10, you got a bit more time to kind of come away from the breakdown area and kind of think about, right, maybe 2 or 3 phases time or something like that. And so I think there's a little bit more time involved at 10. Whereas 9, it's a bit like, right, who's winning this ruck here? Because if the forwards aren't winning it, I've got to go in, right? And then
bridge
get
and
the ball
stuff.
out. Who am I passing to now? Am I giving it to a forward or a back or whatever? Yeah. So just a bit more time on your hands, I think, at 10 to kind of make more informed decisions.
Yeah, and as a kid, mate, how was you adaptive wise? Because you're just touching on there, which I didn't want to interrupt, but I imagine 2 or 3 phases forward is where you're looking. If your carriers don't get you in them places, how was you at reorganising?
Probably wasn't so great when I was a kid, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I was thinking that too far in advance really as a kid. I was probably just trying to get the ball in my hands and sidestep as many people as I could and score.
At least you had it in you.
I was quick when I was a kid. So I could outpace quite a few people and I had a really good step and a good dummy. So I used to score quite a few tries, to be fair.
Yeah, and the beauty is back then, mate, you literally are playing what you see. That's not even coached in you. You're just playing for the love of the game, aren't you? At that age as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably not thinking too much about tactics and things like that.
Oh.
I suppose when you get start getting to like under 13s, 14s, and you're playing on a full size pitch, and you're then thinking a bit more like, oh, do we kick it here? Do we kick it there?
Yeah, league systems and cup comps and stuff like that.
That kind of has its own kind of pressures and things, doesn't it?
Yeah. So any regional stuff then, mate? Because rugby union, from what I remember, it's not so much town team, is it? Like rugby league. And was rugby league ever an option for you?
Yeah, so I played a bit of rugby league as a kid. I think I first started playing for the town team. Might have been like under 9s or something. And then under 10s, we had a thing. I don't know if you played in it or involved in it. The Great Manchester Youth Games.
No, mate.
It's a big thing where like Rochdale and Oldham, Tameside, Wigan, St Helens, Salford. There's about like 12 boroughs around Greater Manchester that all played against each other. I can't remember where it was now. It was in Manchester somewhere. And it was like a big, massive sporting complex. And there was rugby league, there was tennis, there was cricket, there was lacrosse, hockey. There was all sorts of sports going on. It was just like a massive, like little Olympics almost. It was brilliant. So I played for the town team for Rochdale at under 10s level there. We did all right actually. I think we came third. Wigan and St Helens were head and shoulders above everyone else. Head and shoulders, but I think we just pipped Salford to third, I think, which was a pretty good achievement for us. We were pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and on the back of that, no rugby league side stiffing rounds, do you know?
No, I don't, not that I know of.
No,
I don't. Never had an agent.
And
Or
I've no doubt.
Someone might have come sniffing and asked me dad or something, but I doubt it.
No.
But and then we played when I was in year 6. We played a cup final, the Rochdale schools, like primary schools tournament. We played that at Rochdale's football ground, and I think I scored about 7 tries that day. So if anyone would have picked me up, they'd have picked me up from there. But no, I don't think anyone asked me to come down to any rugby league clubs or anything.
I was going to say, because without being rude to anyone, Mayfield's the better team, isn't it? The Rochdale Mayfield. They've got like the little ground there, haven't they?
Yeah, so there's Mayfield, and obviously there's Hornets. there are a couple
Sorry,
of
I meant amateur-wise. It's probably Mayfield, isn't it? That's
yeah, that's
the
probably the
standout
biggest.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably the biggest club around, and I'd not heard of many other clubs now since working in Oldham and since knowing rugby a bit more. There's loads of
yeah,
amateur clubs in Oldham, like massive, like Waterhead and Saddleworth,
yeah.
St Anne's and stuff like that. So there's quite a few over in Oldham, but yeah, there's only really Mayfield in Rochdale. I think Milner and UA Cobras used to be a bit of a team when I was younger. And then I think Littleborough might have a bit of a team nowadays as well, but I'm not sure to be
Yeah,
honest. So yeah, looking
right.
at Mayfield is the biggest amateur one, yeah.
Yeah, and just a little bit off topic, mate. As you said, you're working in Oldham now. Is the buzz back in Oldham with rugby league with what Mike Ford's doing, or is it spoke about a lot?
They're trying. I think it kind of petered out a little bit about
It
4 or 5
did,
years ago, just before COVID, I'd say, and then after
yeah,
COVID, not much happened either. We were having like Oldham Cup competitions where there were only 3 teams entering and stuff like that, which was really disappointing, really. But they're trying to revive it now. They've put quite a bit of things in place to kind of get things back moving with it. And it sounds like it'll hopefully get a bit better this year. So yeah, hopefully it'll
yeah.
kind of go from strength to strength now.
Yeah. No, they've signed well, mate. They've signed a few big names early doors there.
Oldham,
Like Jordan Turner, yeah, Jordan Turner, Joe Wardle, couple
right?
of lads from Widnes are rumoured as well, and
I'm not up to speed with my men's
yeah,
rugby league, to be honest. I'm more up to speed with my
yeah,
women's rugby league at the minute.
yeah. I know, mate. It's
Yeah,
flying in it. Yeah,
yeah. Because my wife plays. My wife plays for Lee.
right.
So yeah, I'm quite up to speed with all that. But yeah, men's rugby league, I'm
Okay.
not that tuned in, to be honest.
So another interesting one. Then, how do you find it spectating? Because I've no doubt your partner's done it for you for years. So
Oh
you're
God,
feeling the different side, aren't you?
it's worth spectating, I think, because when you're on the pitch, you can do something about it. What they
Yeah.
played. They played Barrow yesterday, and if they won that,
Right.
they'd have won the league and gone up to Super League One. Uh,
Yeah.
they lost by 2 points, but it was so frustrating because they turned the ball over so many times on first and second tackle, and they just kept putting themselves under pressure. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit gutting, really. It was,
Ballard are quite good though, stay, aren't they?
yeah,
Like
they're a
it's
good
not.
side. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they Featherstone went up as champions. I think they all
Right.
ended up on the same amount of points, but Fev had a better points difference.
Okay.
But yeah, Fev and Lee and Barrow, really good sides.
Yeah.
Each bit different. Lee liked to kind of
Yeah.
try and get a bit wider and use the pace. They've got quite a lot of young pacey backs, uh,
Right.
whereas Fev and Barrow a bit more traditional, truck it up in the middle and use the
Yeah.
physicality in the middle there. And that came through yesterday. Really, I think some of the young Lee girls just made a few little errors, and because they played at Lee Sports Village, so I don't know whether the occasion got to them a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
There certainly were more errors than they normally do.
Yeah. Great experience though, mate, isn't it? It's like hopefully gives
Yeah,
them a bit of fire next year as well.
it was brilliant. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm nearly tearing up at one point, honestly, because
Yeah.
Claire, my wife, she scored to go 12-8 up, I think it was, and I think there was like 1,300 there yesterday, 1,310, I think it was.
Right.
And all the crowd like singing away, and I was like, "Man,
Yeah.
this is mega."
It's
This
class that, isn't it?
it
Yeah.
honestly was brilliant. Yeah, it was a really good advert for
Yeah.
the game. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, superb, mate. So how was your transition into high school, mate? How was you as a kid going into like big schools, as they say?
Yeah. I kind of took it all in my stride. Really, I had my 2 older brothers who had been to the school, so I knew, and my mum and dad knew a lot of the teachers. So I kind of probably that cocky year 7 who like knows everything. Uh, and I remember actually I robbed. We used to play football out on the playground, and we robbed some of the sixth formers' ball, like one of their footballs, and we were kicking it around because there's about 50 year 7s playing football, and there's only like 10
Yeah.
sixth formers. And one of my brother's mates came up to me and went, "Look, Steve, you're not getting a hiding because you're my Mike's brother, but otherwise, give us the ball back. We'll have him out you."
Bless him, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there you go. There's a ball.
So how was like school rugby compared to club rugby, mate? What was the standard like?
Yeah, it was a bit different, but To be honest, when I was growing up at rugby union at Rochdale, we were always kind of struggling to try and make a team, and that was the kind of case at rugby league as well. It was a bit like, right, you got about 4 or 5 players who play, and then right, he's quick. He plays football on the wing. Yeah, let's stick him on the wing. Or he'll be all right. He can truck up a few balls. Yeah. So yeah, it was a bit like scratching around for a team, a bit like at the weekend playing rugby union. But yeah, because we played rugby league at school. So yeah, there's me and a couple of other lads who had quite a bit of rugby experience, and we kind of tried to control as much as we could, and then get the other lads in and involved. But yeah, there's probably like 3 or 4 of us who did the majority of the tackling and the running and
the
the
rugby stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
So did you all play in the spine? Sorry, mate. So if you can, for listeners, like, it'd be easier if you were all spine players, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So you can sort of fill in.
I think
the blanks, really.
I think I just played scrum half, so that'd have been 6, wouldn't it?
Yeah, both courts.
Yeah, so I played scrum half union, and then I think I probably played scrum half rugby league as well. Sometimes probably went in the hooker.
I was going to say, maybe hooker as well.
I think we had someone else who was a hooker who had a decent pass on him. Dom Kershaw, I think he used to play hooker. And then there'd be me. I think I'd probably play 6, and then I think there's another good lad called David Lawler. He used to play. He probably played loose forward, I think. So yeah, probably like your hooker, loose forward, and scrum half. That was probably us 3 who played the most rugby league, to be honest. And then a lot of them were just kind of raw and didn't really play much, I think.
Right. No, that's fair enough, mate. And any big games at school, mate, or was it all geared towards club rugby?
Some good ones, actually. Yeah, some crackers. Like, we used to play one team, Hollandworth High, and they used to just have 2 absolute mutants. Can't remember the names now. Ryan and Gaz. It was Gaz Ellison, I think, and Ryan Howarth. And they were just massive and just rapid as well, both of them. Ryan especially.
Smoking tattoos, a mortgage at 13.
Yeah, like a big full-on beard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, what? Where have you come from?
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a couple of good games against Hollandworth High, and then funny because we played another team in Rochdale called Wardle, and that was where a load of my mates went. My best mate went there, and they weren't particularly great at first, but then he managed to get quite a few of them down coming to rugby union, and you could see him like getting better and better every year. So we used to beat him quite easily by like 40 points in year 7, year 8, and then year 9. That was like the turning point. Year 9, they beat us by a point in the Rochdale Cup final. My best mate kicked a drop goal, the knob. So he kicked the winning drop goal against us, and we lost by a point. I was absolutely devastated. So that was a great final. That one. That was down at Mayfield. And then the year after that, I think that was we played that at the football ground again, at Hornets ground. And they just beat us. I think that was about 12-8 or something like that. So yeah, we had some really good games in those. And we actually we entered because St Cuthbert's is kind of on the border between Oldham and Rochdale. So we entered the Oldham Cup in our first year in year 7. We got to the final of that, actually, but we lost. I think it was St Benedict's. I think it was something like that. But we played.
Wouldn't have been great if you'd have won that, though, would it? If you're not quite.
Yeah, we got team. Yeah. I remember we beat Count Hill in the semi-final, and they were just a team full of mutants. They were just massive. I mean, I was only small as a kid, but these lads were absolutely huge, and somehow we managed to beat them. So we beat them in the semi-final, and then we should have won the final as well, but I missed a load of kicks at goal, and I think Dom missed a load of kicks at goal as well. So yeah, bit frustrating that, but never mind.
You always had that in the locker then, mate. You've been a bit of a nudger throughout playing.
Yeah, really. Like I said, me and a few lads who go up to the rugby club on a Saturday with our dads, they'd probably just take us up there at like what time they were meeting or something like that, and then we'd have an hour and a half before the game, just kicking a ball about the pitch. And then we'd watch the game, and then we'd be there for about 3 hours afterwards, just kicking the ball about on the pitch as well. Must have been a dream for our dads, honestly. I'd take my kids up to the rugby club now, and it's like, oh God, where are they now? Where are they? Or they want, where's my iPad? Where's my iPad? We'd just be off, like
kicking tea out and that.
1 o'clock, right, off you go. Make sure you're back here by it's dark. And we're like, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. No, well, how long's the facilities been as good as they are, mate? When you were playing, were they not as good, or has it always been pretty good setup?
Yeah, it's always been a decent setup, but
Yeah,
they moved to the new clubhouse about probably about 20 years ago, I think it was.
right.
So the old clubhouse was quite big as well, and
Yeah,
it it was fit for purpose. It worked pretty well. The change rooms were all right and everything. The last couple of years, as we knew, we were kind of moving over to the new build. A few drunken nights and a few holes started appearing in walls and ceilings and things like that.
yeah.
Head shaped holes in walls and stuff like that. Like, well, that's a bit of
Before
trouble.
social media, mate. Yeah,
Yeah, luckily
yeah,
social media wasn't around then. So yeah, it was. So by the end of it, it was probably definitely ready for moving over. But yeah, the facilities
yeah,
over there are amazing now. And then they did
yeah.
an
They're spot
upgrade.
on, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know if you've been there the last
Yeah,
couple of years, but they did an upgrade probably 3 years ago now when they made the new balcony. Now they've
yeah.
got
I've been there.
now
Yeah,
they've got underneath the balcony as well.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really good, great on a match day, especially on a
yeah.
nice hot day.
What I think they play like, is it the League Cup final there? I think
Yeah, yeah,
the
they
Lids
do. They
beat
do
someone
often
in
do
that.
that.
It's a top day. Like you can't fault it. Actually, you're right. Yeah, with the new like underneath the balcony, isn't it? Like a bit of a like a
Yeah, I
bay,
mean,
isn't it?
I'm
Yeah,
not sure if they've got a license to sell beer or not. So I think they're trying to go through that, trying to get a license to sell the beer
yeah.
underneath the stand now as well. Uh,
Right.
so yeah, once they get that going, that'll be like proper rowdy down there.
Yeah. Right, mate. So going through school, any rep stuff, any county stuff, or anything like that?
No, so out because I was really small. I think I did try out for Lancashire when I was maybe under 13s or something like that, and didn't get picked. I was probably about a foot smaller than everyone else, but I felt like my skill set and my pace and my agility probably should have got me a game. And when I speak to
Yeah.
people now, because I've played like Lancashire men's for what 15 years or something like that now. Uh, when I always say, "Oh yeah, I never played Lancashire when I was younger," they're like, "What? How on earth did you not play Lancashire?" And it's like,
Yeah.
just sometimes people go with what they know, don't they? Like,
Face doesn't fit as well sometimes, does it?
well,
It's
yeah. Rochdale wasn't a particularly big club then. I mean, it's not
yeah,
particularly big now, but it's got a massive junior section.
yeah,
But maybe back then it probably didn't have the junior section that it has now. And we've had a bit more success recently in the juniors as well. So probably the coaches were looking at this young lad from Rochdale, very small. Yeah, looks quite good, but I might go with this guy from Preston. He's been there and done it. He's at
yeah,
a rugby school, so you can see why they didn't go for me. But yeah, never got to do any rep stuff.
yeah. It doesn't help that his dad was probably the cutsman, stitcher, the
Yeah,
doctor, and all that.
yeah,
Doesn't help, mate,
perhaps,
does it?
yeah, that kind of happened. There's a lad called Chris Leck, I think
Yeah.
he was, and his dad was Phil Leck. Yeah, he
All
was
right.
he was the coach,
Yeah.
and Chris got picked.
Right. Well, it's right though, mate. And it unfortunately you go in like when you're a kid, it's sort of like it's sort of semi-trial, semi-camp in it,
Yeah,
and you do a bit of a session and then play in it. They're all rocking up in Lancashire gear, and you're just in your club stuff,
yeah,
and
you,
you
you
get the hint then, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah. Right, right. So are you playing both chords right through school till you end up leaving school, mate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I played. I mean, you probably only played a handful of games at school level, rugby league. So we probably play like 3 or 4 games a season. Whereas union, you're probably playing 20 games or something like that. Even
Yeah.
though they're just friendlies at those points, they're never friendlies though, were they?
No.
Yeah, we just got up until then about under 17s. Then you're in a. I think that was the first time we got entered in a proper league. I think
Yeah.
there was the Lancashire Cup, so I think the Lancashire Cup was from under 13s onwards, and we always used to get beat by Preston in that my age group anyway. But I sometimes played for the year above.
Right.
But then I think it was about under 17s we finally beat Preston, and I think I don't know whether we won the Lancashire Cup that year or it might have been the year after that. But yeah, when they started introducing the leagues at under 17s and under 19s at Colts level, that was where we
Yeah.
actually got really successful, and I think we won the Lancashire and Cheshire League and the League Cup, and then I think the following year, I think we won the Lancashire Cup. I think we might have beat Widnes in the final, actually, perhaps.
So when was that at Colchester?
Yeah, that was at Colts. Yeah, so junior Colts was under
Right.
17s, and then senior Colts
Yeah.
under 18s and 19s. So I had a year when I was 18 playing with the age group above, and they had a really good set of forwards and a good 10. He was a good kicker, Dicko. So I'd play 9, and our team just gelled really well with them. Where they were a bit short, we had the players to fulfil that at the 18s, and then they became too old. So I think that was the team that we won the league with and the League Cup, and then they became too old, and we then merged with the team below us. And they again just some of the players in there fitted so well with our team. They had a good 9, so then I kind of moved out to 10. But they had a good 10 anyway, actually. I don't know if you know Chris Johnson, John O. So
I've heard of him, actually. Yeah, was he at Sale FC as well?
Yeah, Sale FC. Yeah. He played Sale FC, filed. He's played in the National Leagues for years. So me and John O, he's a year below me. So when I was talking about those kids who playing when we were 5, 6 years old, that was me, John O, and Ross, and a few others.
Right.
So yeah, John O would play 12, I'd play 10, and Tweedale would play 9. So we had a really good little back line there.
Combination there.
Yeah. So I think that was the year we won the Lancashire Cup. That was over at Eccles, that one. Yeah.
Do you think the because it's classed as, for viewers and listeners that don't know, it's the start of men's rugby really cult, isn't it? Especially senior cult. You'll rock up to some teams and it's like the second team virtually, isn't it? It's not even like a cult team sometimes.
Yeah.
So do you think that year at 9 helped you settle in, and then when you stepped in at 10s when you come into your own a bit more?
Yeah, I think that's when I really started to kind of feel more confident at 10. I think, and making all the decisions and things like that. I think that was the year that kind of because that was the year where I actually went to university that year, and I didn't get in teams in my first year, and I had a really bad day at the trials day, and I just thought, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. So I went home every now and then, played like the big games for the Colts, and played 10 for them, and I kind of grew into it, and I felt I got my confidence back, and thought actually, I should be playing 10 for the university. I am good enough, and then I tried the next year, and I got in the teams. So I think I kind of came into my own that year when I was a senior Colt, maybe. Yeah.
Right. And is that the first time you ever really questioned your ability? Or was it the first time you had to sit and maybe have a think about how good you was? Because you've just been enjoying yourself.
It was like, I tried out, and like I say, I had a shocking day. And again, a bit like when I was trying out for Lancashire, the lads at uni were probably looking at my player profile going, oh, he's played for Rochdale. Yeah, I've never heard of them. He's never played for Lancashire. He's never had any representative honours. Let's have a look at him. Oh, he's tiny. He's not having a great day. Yeah, we won't pick him. I kind of like thought, oh, maybe I'm not good enough to kind of play at this level. And it's quite daunting, really, at Loughborough. Because that's where I went to. I don't know if I said I went to Loughborough. So I used to go down watching the first team and even the second and third team and fourth team. And you're watching the players and you're thinking, there's some awesome players here, absolutely brilliant. And I'm kind of thinking in my mind, thinking, am I at that level? I'm not sure if I am or not. So then I kind of, you kind of doubt yourself a little bit. So that's when I kind of went back playing at Rochdale for my first year at uni. And I didn't go back every weekend, just every now and then for like the big cup games and league games and stuff like that, I think. And then, as I said, my second year, I felt much more of a competent and a confident player at 10 then. Because I think at the time I was still not sure whether I was a 9 or a 10. And then
I was going to say somewhere to stamp your authority and a bit of stability in a number. So you can really hone your game to it.
Yeah, so I think that second year I went back and I was like, I'm a 10, and I'm probably much more confident in abilities at 10 then, so and my confidence. So I think that probably came out in the trials then, and then I got picked, and I ended up, I think, the end of that year then playing in the Booster final at Twickenham, and we won that. So yeah, hell of a
Right.
year that.
Right. Yeah. It sounds it, to be fair. So I'll rewind a little bit, mate. So leaving school, what was the ambition, regardless of your grades? What did you want to do?
Yeah, so I wanted to go to Loughborough because it was just a really sporty uni. I really liked it. At the time, I was possibly thinking about getting a golf scholarship. I think I was playing off 4 handicap at the time at golf. So I was
Are
kind
you
of
just
looking
someone
at.
that's just good at everything, Steve? Sorry, mate. Was you not like joking aside? Was you just pretty gifted, and it's
Yeah,
just about what you decided to pick?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was that annoying kid who was just good at everything. My mates still hate me now. Honestly,
Yeah.
they're like, "Is there any sport you're not good at?" So yeah, I mean, I was naturally good at a lot of
Yeah.
sports, but I also played a lot of them. Like, I put a lot of time and effort into
Yeah.
them. Like, I'd be out golfing like all day. Like when I finished my GCSEs and my A levels, you get like quite a long summer, don't you? Because you finish like
Yeah.
May, June, or something like that. You've got like 2 months then. I'd be out at the golf course every day. I'd get a taxi up there in the morning at 9 o'clock, or my mum and dad would drop me off. And I'd play like 2 rounds a day, 3 rounds a day sometimes, and then just come home late at night. Like I said, that must have been a
Yeah.
dream for my mum and dad.
Yeah. Didn't eat and was never in.
Oh yeah, I just have some toast up
Yeah.
with something like that. Yeah, they just send me off to the golf club with 10 quid or something, right? Have a
Yeah.
field. So
Can
yeah,
do nothing with a tenner now, mate, can you?
oh yeah, you won't go far now. So yeah, I love playing all different sports. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was very good at golf, and I was umming and ahhing about shall I go for a scholarship. But then I had a little look into like the there's like a European amateur tour, I think, at the time or something, and you had to have a
Right.
handicap of like 2 was the highest, but then there were people who were like +7 and stuff like that, and I was thinking, I'm miles off them boys. There's no
Yeah.
way I'll be able to
Even
get.
though you're good, you know that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's good, and then there's good, and
That.
then there's like
Yeah.
seriously good. Like,
Okay.
uh, so yeah, I don't think I'd have ever got to that level with my swing, but yeah. So I was looking at maybe doing that, but then in the end, I got the grades that I needed to.
Yeah.
And the course, I quite like the course as well because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was really good at maths, and I kind of thought accountancy makes a lot of money, so they had a course that was called Maths, Accounting, and Financial Management. So I was like, that sounds perfect for me. It's a really
Yeah.
sporty uni, so yeah, I'll go there for that.
Yeah. No, and did he cater for off the out the classroom as much as the classroom there?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. So like I said, I didn't get in the teams in my first year, but then because there's so many sporty people that go there and probably don't get in the
Yeah.
teams, they have an inter-hall competition, and there's probably about 12 halls at Loughborough, and the inter-hall competitions are seriously competitive. So like
Yeah.
we played like sevens rugby. So my hall won that because there was me and another lad who didn't get in on the trials, and then there's one lad who he was signed up to Leicester Tigers at the time, but they wouldn't let him play for uni. So he just
Okay.
played. He just played for the halls. So there were
Yeah.
3 of us who were just like really, really good. Uh, so we won that one. But then, like even playing like football and table tennis and stuff like that, it was like really good level.
Serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good level. Yeah, and you'd have all your hall cheering you on the sidelines. So it actually got quite
Yeah.
feisty some games as well. I remember some football games were quite feisty. Yeah.
So how do you adapt, mate? So you've gone from 13 to 15 aside. So you're playing both courts. You go to uni, you're playing, is it like your first serious sevens, or have you done a bit of sevens before?
Uh, yeah, I don't know if I've done a bit of sevens before or not. I think that was probably the first time I'd done sevens. My first year at uni.
Yeah.
No, we probably did a bit of
Messed
sevens.
about with it, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And how did you adapt, mate? How did you find it?
yeah. I mean, it kind of suited my game. Sevens, I was all about kind of evasion and stuff like that. So yeah, it kind of suited my game down to the
Yeah.
ground really. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I was fit as a fiddle really. I wasn't like out and out rapid, but I was quick enough, and I was really quick over like 5 or 10 yards, so I could make a break.
Yeah,
And then I probably just didn't have the gas to finish it off, and then I'd look to someone else to kind of finish it off. Or
right.
if it wasn't too far, I could finish it myself. So yeah,
Yeah,
it kind of suited me, and yeah, I mean playing league because I never really played at a very high level. There was probably never any kind of structure or anything like that, so it was kind of just like, yeah, play what's in front of you.
right.
Yeah, it's not like right, first tackle we do this, second tackle we get to the middle, third tackle we
Yeah,
go to the edge. It was just right. He can catch the ball, I'll give it him. Right, he can't catch it, or I'll run it in myself here.
yeah,
So yeah, I never really played league at a good level really. Just at school, which like I say, there were 3, 4, 5 lads who kind of good players, and the rest were just like sports, like just athletes
yeah.
who were decent.
So you said you enjoyed it enough though to be able to maybe like game manage a little bit better, spot spaces, out of wit spaces and stuff. It allowed you
Yeah,
to broaden your game in union, didn't it, mate? So
yeah,
was you getting expenses to come home and play in the big games from Rochdale? So would you get train money or out like that, mate? No,
no, no.
no,
Especially at that time, I think I was only playing for the Colts. Really, I don't know if
right,
I played a few first. I did actually play. I played a few first team games, uh,
yeah.
but no, I don't think I got any money then. They've never paid Rochdale. I think they might have maybe paid a bit of expenses sometimes, but I
And
never.
or a couple of pints or whatever.
Not even that really. No,
No tokens, though.
no, no.
No,
That's
all right.
something I've always said at the club. They should do because
Yeah.
they pride themselves on being fully amateur and like so they never pay anyone. And I've
I
said,
get that, mate, but there's a nice little incentive in it to
well,
train twice a week or whatever.
this is what I've kind of said
Yeah,
to them. I said, oh, if you want to keep some of the lads sticking around that might have offers here, there, and everywhere, maybe just a couple of
yeah,
beer tokens and stuff like that will kind of keep them around. Maybe just like a gesture of
yeah,
goodwill almost.
yeah.
So I don't know if that's something that they'll do in the future or not. I don't know. We'll see.
Right. Oh, it's because I was going to mention this a bit later on, but you know when you think back of like the players you grew up playing with, and you've named lads that can play, and then a bit like witness, really, like you'll know the Rileys and that, don't you? So imagine if
Yeah,
you were able to keep Rochdale lads playing for Rochdale, like
yeah. I
like
mean,
us with witness lads playing elsewhere, like McGuff's playing at Didsbury now, and that sort of thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you'd like to think there'd be some like you're not asking to pay tons of money a week or like that, are you? You're just saying to sort my beer out. And it can be the difference between mates sticking around or
Yeah,
going out to work, can't it?
yeah, we've had some great players come through the club recently. Like when I was a kid, there's a guy called Spencer Bromley. He was the only one really. I think he played for Harlequins. I think he'd be the only player who played
Right.
at Rochdale who went kind of professional.
Yeah.
Uh, and then my my age group, we had a really good age group, but no one that kind of went on to play pro or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then the age group above was good as well, and the age group below was good as well. Like I say, me and John have probably been got to the highest level. Like John was
Yeah. The
captain.
two great successes. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a good careers at national league level. John O's captained England not students, England counties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd always been the kind of the two highest, other than the lad Spencer Bromley, and then more recently we've had a lot more success now. Like Danny Kelly, who plays at Leicester Tigers.
Yeah. The centre.
Yeah, centre. Yeah, he's had a couple of
Yeah.
caps for England. He's been a bit unlucky with injuries and stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
he came through Rochdale's junior teams, and then a lad recently, Beltus. He just signed for
Yeah.
Northampton Saints. I played with him at Sedge last year, so he
Yeah.
came through. He came through Rochdale as well. So hopefully
Right.
he'll go on to do big things as well. And then there's been quite a few others as well. Nathan Fowles. He was a few years below me. He played at Sale Sharks for a little bit. I'm not sure how he's done since then. Last time I spoke to
Yeah.
his granddad, I think he was off to South Africa or something like that. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, we've had a few good players, and there's a few more now that have kind of. I think one lad went to Blackburn last year, and a few others that have kind of gone
Yeah.
to clubs around as well. So it's just because the minis and juniors are
Yeah.
kind of thriving.
Thriving. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's what you're trying to do. Like, it's one thing leaving for clubs like even like you and John, oh really, no offence to Rochdale, same for Witness lads that I've just mentioned. Like, especially if it's a few leagues above, you'd understand that the challenge is there, and then Lancashire hopefully comes on the back of that. But you
Yeah,
know, when no offence to Blackburn as well, but when they're leaving for a similar level, mate, it can be the difference, can't it? A few
yeah. I
beers or
mean,
a bit of expenses if he's
yeah,
working away or whatever.
yeah. I think Blackburn are paying a little bit of money. Well, quite a bit of money, I think.
Uh,
So
okay,
it's hard. It's hard to knock them in it really when you go and play
yeah,
at a higher level and getting a bit of money for it. You're thinking, well, why would you not do that?
yeah,
It's like when people are having a go at the people going over to Saudi Arabia now and stuff playing football. It's like you're getting paid
silly money in it.
getting
Yeah,
paid four times what you're getting. Like
yeah,
I know it's different, like professional level and stuff, and footballers they don't really need all that money, so it probably matters more for the lads around here if they're getting
yeah.
150, 200 quid a game somewhere else playing at a higher level. You
You've
can't,
got
you
to
can't,
take it, mate.
you can't have a
Yeah.
go for going, can you? Really?
No, no, you can't. You can't at all. So when you uni finished, mate, what was the crack with rugby? Was Rochdale the target to sort of settle in and play regular first team rugby?
Yeah. So I'd had a year in a placement year, so that was like my third year of uni, where I'd gone back and played for Rochdale. And
Yeah.
we moved over to the North East League. So we played up at Hartlepool, a couple of games up there, Middlesbrough, Morpeth, Percy Park. So we had some great away trips on that season. So I really enjoyed myself on that season. And then after I finished uni, I started doing my teacher training. So I was living at home. So yeah, I've just played at Rochdale, and we had a really good year that year. We got promoted from level 6, it was. So we went up to level 5, and that's the highest I think Rochdale's ever been. We had a good mix of lads who I'd played Colts with a good mix of like older, more experienced lads in the forwards, and then we had a couple of young, really raw talents on the wing and at fullback. So we had a really good mix that year, and we went up. Like I said, we won the league, and then we survived the next year at level 5, uh, playing
Also,
against.
you were ready to go up as well. Obviously, then weren't you? Because
Yeah, yeah,
sometimes you can be a bit naive to it, can't you? And them away
yeah,
days become a bit harder.
yeah. I mean, we always knew we were gonna struggle at that level. I
Yeah,
think I think we played against Sheffield Tigers, and they had like I think it was a fully international front row or something. It was like a Canadian prop and then a Namibian hooker or something like that. Anyway, they had like some big boys in the front row, and they must have been paying them a bit of money. And we
yeah,
were just fully amateur, like just all lads who've grown up together and
mates. Yeah,
played yeah, mates who played together. So yeah, to survive at that level against teams who were paying big money, like we had played against Darlington Moden Park at that level, and we beat them comfortably at
yeah,
our place. That was towards the end of the season, one of the last games we needed to win. So yeah, we beat them, and that was like level 5, and then I think they went up the following year, and then they kind of
yeah,
gone up then again, and they're up at National One now, aren't they?
yeah.
Yeah, that
Their
was a
gas
great.
class, in it?
Oh yeah, well I think
Yeah.
they bought it for £1 or something from the football club. I
Off the
think.
footy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that was what happened. Yeah, we played them that year at their old ground.
Oh,
Although
okay.
I think that was a new ground as well, actually. So that was for Rochdale, and then I ended
Yeah,
up playing against them about 5 years later for Sedge.
okay.
We played up at the stadium, so that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
No, it is. It's a class ground.
Yes. You
Yeah.
okay?
No, it's a yeah. Sorry, it's a boss ground, isn't it? It's like
Oh yeah, I just lost
it
you
is
for a minute.
unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, it's a real nice
Yeah.
ground. Yeah, yeah, it's a bit different when it's empty, but it's it's a good
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
good ground. Yeah, yeah, not
So
bad
when
per pound, is it?
no, that's it, mate. And it basically you got it for free, haven't they? So when you're are you really comfortable at this point, Steve? And you realise you can play at that level? Is that when people start having chats with you and stuff?
Yeah, I was probably yeah full of confidence at that level, knowing that I was one of the better players at that level, and and probably could play higher. Well, yeah, I knew I could play higher. I was like making a lot of breaks and had the gas then to kind of finish off or sidestep the fullback and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed those years playing with the lads because it's some great talents in and around those lads as well. But yeah, I always kind of felt I could push on and play a bit higher. I think in those 2 years, I think I got picked to play for Lancashire. So the first year was the year we got promoted, and I played. I think I only played 1 or 2 games, but again we ended up winning the final at Twickenham. So that was a pretty good experience. And then they kind of asked if I wanted to go to Fylde. Was it Fylde? No, it was actually it was Pete Anglesey at Sale. He kind of asked would I want to kind of come to Sale and like be in the development team or something like that. And I just kind of thought I don't want to go somewhere and be cannon fodder for the first team and play
holding tackle bags and stuff.
A handful of games and stuff like that. And at that point, I was 23, just done my teacher training, and I'd have had to kind of give that up to kind of I don't know. We never got talking about money or anything like that, but I imagine it'd been about 15 grand or something like that to kind of train full time and like I say, hold bags most of the times against the first team and play a handful of games. And I just didn't really fancy it, to be honest. I probably always knew my height was going to limit me a little bit. I mean, you got some players like I think Simpson Daniel. He's probably about similar size to me or something like that. Mark Simpson Daniel. I think he was playing 9 around that time for Sale, but again, he was kind of on the bench most times or in the jet squad or not playing. So I kind of thought, I'd rather just play at Rochdale and have another year there. We've got promoted. Let's stay up with Rochdale hopefully and then see where it takes me after that. Because I just wanted to play rugby really. I didn't want to kind of be playing a handful of
fodder,
games.
like you said.
Yeah.
Still a big call for a young man, that though, mate, isn't it? Because it like a lot of lads, I know they're getting fed with one hand, but they could get a feeder and will take it with the other, won't they? But young lads never see the take, they just see the give.
Yeah, it's a tough one to make, and I might look back and say, actually, were you a bit of a coward that you didn't try and push yourself that much and didn't take the chance on it? But I kind of figured at 22, 23, I think I was.
You need to be playing speed, don't you?
Probably, yeah. If I wanted to make a professional career of it, I probably would needed to be picked up a few years before that, and I probably knew it was probably just a bit too far of a stretch for me. Yeah.
Very mature call though, mate. And did you play at Twickers with uni, or was that with Lancs that we touched on?
So played twice at Twickenham with uni actually. So in my second year we won. We beat Bath 10-7. I think that might have been at the final because they used to do all the booster finals there. I'm not sure if they do or not anymore. And then in my final year, so after my gap year, we played against Hartbury in the final. We lost that one. That was a tough one. They were at the time the up and coming kind of college or university. They were
like Gloucester's feeder, weren't they?
Yeah, they were they were just setting up all the links with Gloucester, I think, at the time, and quite a lot of the lads who were playing in the university team were kind of on Gloucester's books and stuff like that. So they were a very good outfit.
You could tell that then, mate.
Good outfit. And you see some of the names that you played against, and I'm pretty sure some of them kind of went on playing professionally.
Right.
There's a few of the lads who played at Loughborough who've quite gone on to make good careers out of rugby as well. No,
I've no doubt you're under no illusions, but every time you're playing in these games, it sort of consolidates your thoughts that I am actually good enough. after one time thinking maybe you wasn't, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, my first
Yeah.
first game at Twickenham was a bit of a baptism of fire, really, because I was on the bench. We had a lad called Serge, French number 10, typical French number 10, just outrageous stuff. Could win or lose you the game with a out the back pass or something like that. He was brilliant. So yeah, I love Serge, and unfortunately he got injured after about 15 minutes, really. So I was kind of like thrown in after 15 minutes, thinking, "Oh my god!" I mean, you kind of prepare yourself to come on and play, but after 15 minutes, it's like, "Ooh, I didn't kind of expect this." And I think I put my first kick straight out because the boardings and the boardings at Twickenham are like probably like 15 yards or 10 yards like wider than the actual pitch, so it looks a lot wider than the actual pitch is. And I think I might have put the first two kicks straight out on the full, and I was like, oh my god, I'm having an absolute shocker here. And then luckily early in the second half, I made a bit of a break and went about 40 yards, and then I think I settled into things then.
Yeah.
And, we it was a great win that first game at Twickenham. Yeah.
So it's sort of become a second home for you, mate, which we'll touch on in a bit, won't we? But
Yeah.
what is it just as special every time as you go, or did a little bit of you take it for granted because it become so regular?
Uh, no, it is pretty special every single
Yeah.
time, really. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great ground, great privilege to play there. But yeah, you do lose a little bit of that kind of sparkle. Like when we go there, sometimes we go there the day before for Lancashire and have a little look around and stuff like that. When you see some of the young lads who've never played there before, and they're like taking pictures and stuff like that, and you think, oh yeah, I remember I was doing that. Yeah, my first couple of times. Yeah, so you do
And
lose
then
a
the
little bit.
groundsman's going, all right, Piggy, how you doing? You all right, mate?
Yeah. Back again, I Piggy. Yeah. But yeah, you don't kind of you don't really take it for granted, but you do become accustomed to it a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's a mega setup, and yeah, I always love playing there. It's always dead sunny there as well. I think only once or twice it's rained when we played. So yeah, I've got some great memories of Twickenham. Really good, especially the Cornwall games when there was big massive crowds. That they were brilliant.
And is that something you'd achieved while still at Rochdale before moving on with your career? So that if you did, that'd have been massive for Rochdale as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the year we got promoted, that was my first year after uni. I got picked for Lancashire, but I only played, I think, two of the warm up games. I didn't get on one of them, and then I went down as a travelling reserve. I think it was.
Right.
Yes, that was my first time at Twickenham as a travelling reserve. Uh,
How do you cope with that, mate? You still training that, obviously, don't you? In case anyone pulls up and that.
Yeah, you still train and everything, and it was the first time I'd been involved in Lancashire that year, so I was kind of taking it all in really, and I was just so grateful to kind of be there, playing with some amazing players and stuff. So yeah, I was really glad of the experience and stuff. Even though I'd been to Twickenham before with uni, I still enjoyed the whole day of it. And then a good drink up afterwards on Lancashire's tab. So that was good. And so that was my first year when I was at Rochdale, and then my second year we just stayed up in at level 5 for Rochdale, and I got selected to play for Lancashire again. And that year I played 10, and I played all the games at 10. And I had a really good campaign actually. I think that was the year I won Player of the Year. Actually, me and Gaz shared Player of the Year. Gaz Rawlins. So yeah, I got Player of the Year that year and scored a few tries. Kicked quite well, and we won. We won against beat Gloucestershire in the final. I think it was. So that was a really good season. That great end to the season to play for Lancashire and representing Rochdale at the time as well. And then after that, I actually broke my leg at Twickenham that year. So I was out then until the Christmas of the next year. But that was when I moved just after I'd kind of broke my leg. Nelly, who was the coach at Fylde, he was the head Lancashire coach. and he kind of said, "Yeah, why don't you come down to Fylde? We've got a lot of Lancashire lads playing with us, and you'd fit in great with the team and stuff." And little did I know that there were lots of things happening in the background at Fylde at the time, and so I signed for Fylde, and then about a week later, my phone starts going mental saying, "Good luck playing with Billy Wiz next year." And I'm thinking, what's all this about? And then I switched on Sky Sports News, and Jason Robinson signs for Fylde. I was like, oh, what? I was like, that's amazing.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then Brian Ashton was coaching us as well, and I think he'd just taken England to the World Cup final in 2007, was it, or 2011?
Oh, the Cueto moment.
Yeah,
In touch and that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think he'd just taken England to the World Cup final, and then he was coaching me at Fylde, and I was playing alongside Jason Robinson, a World Cup winner. It's like
What a time.
really surreal moment. Yeah.
He called it, but so Brian called us the most boring team he's ever watched. You know, when he caught Vale away, because we beat him away. It might have been a crap game. It was never nice when we went there. But he
Right.
was fuming, saying we're the worst boring team he's ever watched. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, he was always for playing rugby, for running rugby.
Yeah.
He's got a great philosophy, Brian. I still in touch with him now and get his kind of insight on things with like a little coaching group I'm in, and it's interesting to kind of hear their insight and yeah, they're always slating England's performances really. But yeah, we just played from everywhere, and Brian had kind of train us to do that. He'd throw all sorts of scenarios at us and change things around and stuff like that. So we were never kind of comfortable, and we were always kind of dealing. I think he used to call it chaos, dealing with chaos and things like that. If we can deal with chaos, then it brings chaos on the other team. So yeah, I learned a lot from Brian that in those 2 years I was at Fylde.
So how would you, with injuries before you'd done your leg, mate? Because it was kept it out for a while that then, didn't it? Is it like 5 or 6 months
that was probably my only serious injury I've had. Touch wood. Yeah. Oh, I broke my arm skiing, but that was my own fault. I was doing a stupid jump skiing.
Good at that as well, are we?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at skiing. Yeah. So yeah, that was my first major rugby injury, and like I say, not had too many bad ones since. I've had a few bad ankle sprains and stuff like that, but yeah, a broken rib from a couple of years ago from a bad pass that I got off mate Bob. But yeah, other than that, that was that. That was about 9 months I was out of the game with that, and it's the only time I'd ever been kind of I'd experienced that really, where I couldn't play. So I was kind of, it was a bit frustrating. So I was kind of itching to go, ready to come back as soon as I could. Really, I think I might have played one game before Christmas because I probably shouldn't have done because I should have just waited till after Christmas because it was a second team game. I think they Fylde, but I just thought I want to play. So yeah, I came back just before. It was probably about 8 months or something like that, and then I had my first league game for Fylde after Christmas. And yeah, it was brilliant because the crowd over at Fylde were massive. They get, especially with Jason Robinson that year. I think the average crowd attendance was like 1,500, something like that. And then I think the game against Preston is about 3,000 or 4,000 because it's a big derby, Preston, and then with
derby,
so yeah, there's always good playing at Fylde there that season, massive crowds. I mean, they still get good crowds now, so I've always enjoyed playing there. Yeah.
So just a couple of things then, mate. How are you in a new changing room? And for two, is it easy to go in and guide a team around when you're new to a team?
Yeah, I mean, when I first went to Fylde, again, I was moving up a level. I think it was only one level at the time, but Fylde were kind of toward the top end of level 4, whereas Rochdale were kind of the bottom end of level 5. So it was almost a two level jump really. and I was playing with players that I'd played with for Lancashire, who were like some seriously good players. So I was kind of a little bit, maybe went back into my shell a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, probably wasn't as vocal as I would be now. So I probably let other people do the talking and just kind of concentrate on doing my job probably. And then maybe my second year at Fylde felt like I kind of belonged a bit more maybe. We started off the year really well, and then we had a couple of defeats, and then I kind of was on the bench then for pretty much the rest of the season. So
How do you cope with that? Because you've been a regular starter, really, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, up until that point, pretty much. Yeah, I've been kind of regular starter all my life, really, up until that point. So again, you have a bit of a self doubt, thinking, am I good enough to play at this level? What am I kind of? Why am I traveling over to Fylde to then go to London and sit on the bench and sometimes not even get on? So it was a bit of a frustrating end to the year, really, because like I said, it started off so well. I think we won our first 4 or 5 games, and then we just lost a couple of games, and Nelly lost a bit of confidence in me, I think, and he brought Rich Kenyon in, who's a great player and good mate of mine. Brought Rich in, who he'd known from years before. Rich had played, I think he's a club legend. He'd been playing at the club for years, so it's like, right, Piggy's having a bit of a, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was my fault that we lost the game or anything like that, but maybe just thought, let's make a bit of a change, and he put Rich back in. And I think,
did he have a chat with you though? Or
I can't remember, to be honest.
I might just be naive and think up at a certain level, it's very similar to like champ and pro, where they'd say, "Listen, this isn't quite working. I want you to do this and this." But I don't know because
I can't think if Nelly did have that conversation with me or not. Yeah, because I'd like to think he'd have said, right, yeah, you need to work on this, this, and this, and then I'd have gone away and worked on it. But I don't think.
And he knew you well enough as well, Steve, didn't he? Through
Yeah,
Lancashire and that to do that.
He coached me at Lancashire a bit. Yeah. But it was great at the end of the season because I'd kind of said I'm going to leave. I'm going to go. At the time, I'm possibly going to go back to Rochdale, but I ended up going back to Sedgley, or going to Sedgley. It was the first time I'd been there. But he just kind of said to me, he said, "Look, you're a great player. Wish you all the best and everything, and you definitely play at this standard." But I think he just said, "Yeah, I just went with Rich for a bit more." I don't know whether he said consistency or what. I can't remember what it was now, but there was no kind of hard feelings there. It was just one of those that he had to make, kind of thing. Yeah, but yeah, it was frustrating that season. The second half, going down to Barking and other places, sitting on the bench and not really getting on. So yeah, that kind of made my mind up that I was either gonna move back to Rochdale or somewhere else. Yeah.
Right. And what would you like if you made an NSD? Could you leave it where it was and move on from it?
Sorry, just say that again. Sorry.
So do you know, say like you made an enemy, how was you with like dealing with it? Could you just park it and move on? Or did sometimes you carry it with you maybe, and then if you doubled up, did you go harder on yourself?
No, I think I was all right. Yeah, I'd think about it.
It's quite key at 10, mate, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd definitely think about it after the game. But yeah, if I made an error in the game, I'd kind of be looking to like next thing, next job. I wouldn't really focus too much on getting down or getting annoyed about it because it'd probably lead to more errors. But I'd definitely reflect on it after the game and think, if I'd have done that a bit better, or if I wouldn't have done that, the whole game could have been different. So yeah, afterwards, I definitely reflect on it, and I've had some nights where I've struggled to sleep thinking about some of the decisions I've made on the pitch and stuff like that. But that's just kind of who I am, really. I want to win every game, and I want to think where I've gone wrong every game and how to improve.
That's it, mate. Everything's a lesson, in it. So as long as you learn from it, mate. So the chat to go to Sedge, where did that come from? Who got in your ear and was you glad at the move?
It was a guy called Dave Pete. Actually, I was
Oh, he
playing.
coached us, Petey.
Did he? Yeah, yeah, Pete. Yeah,
Yeah,
he loved a complicated drill, didn't he, Pete?
yeah.
I was playing in a sevens tournament down at Broughton Park, uh, and Petey just came over. I don't know whether his lad Sam was playing for the sevens team or not, but uh, Petey just came over and had a bit of a chat, and uh, a couple of lads knew him, and I think a couple of lads played at Sedgley Park, like Jamie Harrison, and there was another lad I think playing at Sedge at the time. And Peter just kind of said, "Oh yeah, why don't you come down to Sedge?" And Sedge were at National One at the time as well, and I still felt like I had kind of unfinished business at level one almost, National One,
Yeah.
sorry, because I felt like I'd played well enough at Fylde and felt confident in my first 5 or 6 games. Felt like I was controlling the games and we were winning games and stuff like that. So I fancied, yeah, I'll have another go at National One with Sedge, and that was going really well. We were third or fourth, I think, in the league at one point when we'd played about 4 or 5 games. But then we had a couple of bad losses away at Loughborough Students and away at Ealing because our coach at the time was Clive Griffiths.
Oh, yeah.
He was also coaching Canada's national team. So the 2 games where we got absolutely spanked, he was away coaching Canada, and then he just never came back. So
Fair enough.
yeah, he just never came back, and then
Yeah.
about a month later, he was head coach at Doncaster.
All right. Okay.
So kind of left
It's
us
a
in
bit
the
of mad one, that, isn't it?
yeah
Yeah.
left us in the lurch a little bit really. So then we I think we just kind of made Louis McGowan. Do you know Louis McGowan? He's from
Yeah, I've heard of him, mate. Yeah.
ODA. He played professionally at like Nottingham and a few other clubs rather him. I think he was playing at Sedge at the time, and Riles. I think them two kind of took over as kind of player coaches really.
Yeah.
And there was still a lot of talent there, but I think when you've not got a coach there giving you that direction, I think a lot of the lads can kind of go AWOL a little bit, and I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe not listen to, even though Riles and Louis had been there and done it and great players and like a lot of insight and stuff. I don't know whether players
Yeah.
just didn't kind of buy into the kind of coaching of it, and it all ended up being a bit of a shambles really that year. And we
I
got
remember it was a tough year for you, wasn't it? That.
yeah, we got
Yeah.
relegated. Yeah, so that was a bit of a tough year, and then but we had good players there,
Yeah.
and the majority of the players stuck around. I think a few retired. I think because a few of them had been playing for Sedge at kind of championship level, and then they dropped down with them to National One, and then
Yeah.
when we dropped down to National Two, a couple of them retired. But yeah, we still had a good squad, and I think then from there on in, I think we came top 4 in National Two for about 8 or 9 years on the bounce. I think until we eventually won it last year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Lost
it
a
was
couple
really
of
really
playoff
good.
games, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, been unlucky.
Yeah, one about 5 or 6 years ago against Old Albanians. That was it was a tight game, but I think the scoreline was a bit of a hiding in the end. It was about 24-0 or something like that. I think Max
Right.
Malins, he was only 18 or 17. He was playing at Old Albanians at the
Yeah.
time, dual registered with Saracens. And I think Malins scored about 22 points or something like that. I think it was about 29-0 or something like that. And
Yeah.
Malin scored like 22 or 24 the points or something ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I was going to say, because you've come across people like that, you probably know, and because you played at the levels yourself, you can look at lads and go, he'll be all right, him, or he'll play higher in this, won't you? And you can
Yeah,
appreciate that, I think, as well when you've done what you've done, Steve, can't you?
yeah. So it's
Yeah,
interesting because like I made that decision probably at 23 that I was probably never gonna become a professional player. But then I played against quite a lot of lads who have not been that great at the time, but have then improved themselves massively and gone on to make
yeah,
like great professional careers. I mean, Malins was amazing at 17, 18, so he didn't need improving. But we played against lads, people like Sale FC, played against quite a few of their lads who we thought, actually, they're not great. And we actually targeted them sometimes in the game, said, well, let's play at that person because he's not great. And then 2 years later, he's off playing for Sale Sharks. It's like, well, he's done well for himself there. But it just shows if you kind of, you're really determined and you work hard at it, then you can make a decent career out of it.
I think a dog we come from Sale FC, didn't he?
Yeah, played against him a couple of times. Yeah, he scored for Italy, didn't he, at the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Played against him a couple of times at Salem and Sedge.
Because I remember they were in Lids level, mate, for a while, and like couldn't quite do like the playoff thing. They couldn't quite get that hurdle done, and then I think they got a bit of money, didn't they? And they just climbed the ladder like rapidly, didn't they? And then
Yeah,
made
they were
Hayward
like
Road the home and stuff, and big gym in there and that.
yeah, they were level 7 or 8 for a long time, weren't they? And
Yeah,
then I think they finally decided to pump a bit of money into it, and then they started rapidly rising up through the leagues.
yeah,
So yeah, they kind of came from Widnes's level, didn't they? Maybe even below Widnes's
yeah,
level. Kind of, they probably had a couple of years where they might have not got promoted, and then the next year went up. I think they were at Rochdale's level for maybe one or two leagues. I think
yeah.
2 years. Sorry, I don't know if they quite got promoted the first time, but I remember watching Rochdale against Sale, and I'm pretty sure Rochdale won. But it must have been a strange time, like because I know some of the lads, Sam Selmacek, who played at Sedge last year, and I played a bit of Langford.
Yeah.
I think he kind of came all the way through from level 8 up to level 3, where they got up to. But
Right.
then I know there were some other lads.
Or with them.
Yeah, so Sam went, I think,
Yeah.
all the way from level 7 all the way up to level 3.
Right.
There might have been one or two other lads who did that, but I think the
I
majority
said there
kind
won't have
of,
been many.
no, the
Yeah.
majority kind of, yeah, you're here for a couple of seasons, we'll give you a bit of money, and then, oh yeah, you're not good enough to play at this level, so we'll bring someone
But
else
thanks.
in.
Yeah.
Thanks for your
Yeah.
time, but yeah, we'll bring someone else in now to get us up to the next level and stuff. So it must have been an interesting kind of transitional period, really.
Yeah. So you left a big enough impression, mate, where I had a few messages saying like ask him to stay at Seds, give him another year and all this when I'm having you to first come on and that. And is it nice though when you go somewhere that's not your club without being rude, because Rochdale's your club? I know you've got an affiliation with Seds and you've done a lot with Seds, and I've no doubt you should have mates for life there, shouldn't you? And fond memories, mate, whether it's on the piss on the way home or winning promotions and stuff. But is it
Yeah,
nice to leave that little bit of it? Because it's a legacy, innit? Like,
it was.
lads will remember you for it. So,
Yeah, it was nice to everything kind of tied together this year, really, with us getting promoted back up to National One, which is where I kind of joined the club at. So it was nice to kind
yeah,
of put them back up to where I joined them. And it was something that we've been working on. Like I say, I've been there for like maybe 9 years, and Ryle's been there what 15 years or something like that, Matt.
yeah,
And Andy's been there the same time I has, because me and Andy both joined together, I think it was. And Jamie Harrison, he's been there a bit longer than me, and Ben Black. So there's about
yeah,
5 of us who've been there for like 10 plus years. And like you say, we'd been knocking at the door a few times. A bit unlucky in the second playoff game that we had against Chinner. That was a really good game. And then yeah, we've been kind of up there or thereabouts. Like I said, top 4 every single year. And then the year before last, we came second, but they got rid of the playoff because they
yeah,
were restructuring the leagues. But again, we lost in that season. We lost like 3 or 4 games, all by like 2 or 3 points, something like that. Really, really close game. So we felt we were a bit unlucky to go up, but
yeah,
we probably weren't quite ready. And then last year was a great year. Everything kind of came together, all the hard work, and we kind of won the league quite comfortably in the end. But there were some really
yeah,
tough games all along the way. So there were some great kind of celebrations with the lads after some of the wins, some of the home wins, and some of the away wins as well. Some great bus journeys. DJ truck. He's got some good
Yeah, I've
songs
seen
on
a
his,
few videos, mate.
yeah. Loves a good social media post on Riles. But there's a lot
Yeah.
of
He
things
does Snapchat.
a lot of things that he don't put on Snapchat, hopefully, and Twitter. So those memories will live with me for a long time. Yeah, naked out
Yeah,
on the bus and stuff like that. So
that's it, mate. And hopefully you'll get to go a few of like the reunion days that you have and stuff, and just relive them a little bit in it, and
yeah, well,
have a
to be
drink for
honest,
the old days.
when I looked at Rochdale's fixtures, I looked for the first gap week, and I was thinking, right, when's this first gap week? I think it's like first weekend in October. I thought, right, I wonder who said you've got then. And luckily they've got a home game, so I'm gonna go down there for that. So it'd be nice
Oh,
to
mate.
watch the boys and cheer them on.
Yeah. And was there ever an there was always an opportunity, but was there a chance you'd have stayed for a year, or like you said, is it just the right timing and Rochdale's now the place to go in and try and do it again, sort of thing, maybe?
Yeah, I think. I mean, Basil wanted me to stay. I Part of me wanted to stay, but part of me knew that there's a lot of commitment, a lot of long bus journeys, which, as I said, I've done before down in London every other weekend and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Uh, and like my kids are 5 and 7 now, and they're hopefully getting more into sport and stuff like that. And Claire, my wife, she's been watching me play rugby for 10, 15 years now, traveling here, there, and everywhere. Uh, so it was kind of nice for for me to kind of take a step back and give her a bit more time, really, because she's like I said, she's playing for Lee now, and they
yeah,
take it pretty serious. So she's training on a Tuesday and Thursdays. So it's nice that I can kind of say, "Oh, actually, I'll have the kids tonight," and don't
yeah,
have to take them to grandparents and things like that. Even though grandparents still do a lot for us.
yeah,
But yeah, it's nice to kind of also have the kids like just 5 minutes down the road come to watch me instead of half an hour or whatever it is to say 25 minutes.
yeah,
And it's a place where like my mum and dad are there all the time, and the rest of my family are up at the rugby club. So yeah, it was kind of a whole decision for me and the family. If I was being purely selfish, maybe I might have had another year at Sedge. But I was kind of, I think with the timing of everything, it worked out to be my 250th game on my last game as well.
See,
Uh,
that's class, that, mate. Yeah, well done on
yeah,
that as well.
and yeah, winning the league and on my 250th game, and
Home,
it just it
yeah,
just kind of all tied in together and kind of made sense, really.
yeah.
Uh,
Sentiment gets to win as well. Not many people get the chance to do that, mate, out of their own choice, do they?
yeah, I kind of wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to leave when I was still kind of first choice and still at the top of my game. Uh, Whereas I knew probably if I was at Sedge this year, Basil would have had to kind of maybe rest me every now and then. Might have been getting to the stage where if I made a few mistakes, is he the right person to take us forward? Is he the best number 10? So I thought, yeah, it was probably the right time to leave. Uh, so yeah, I kind of left on my terms. It was nice to kind of leave
Yeah,
on my terms at kind of like the top of my game, really, because I still felt like
yeah.
I was making important decisions and making the right calls last year. Uh, Whether I would have done this year or not, I don't know. It seems like they've got a good 10 in to replace me anyway. They're doing really well, so that's good. So I
All
think
right, he's had a good start, hasn't
it's probably worked out well for everyone involved.
he? And plus, it might make you feel a bit better about it as well, mate. Like joking aside, that someone is more than capable of being the new Collins.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't want to leave them in the lurch type of thing, and part
yeah,
of me was I think they were struggling at a time to kind of bring someone in, uh, so I didn't want to kind of leave them in the lurch. So I was a bit in two minds of that, but luckily they've brought this lad in from Darlington Moden Park, I think he was, and
yeah.
he's obviously hit the ground running, and they're flying 2 wins out of two bonus points as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, great stuff.
To be honest, mate, when I spoke to Scott on this, I couldn't have imagined it had been hard to recruit. I don't know whether it's because I just see all the good that you do, because no one's
Yeah,
going to post a shit, are they? But I see all the good you do. I see like how well you've been doing. I see like, and I hear the Rileys talk about how close you all are. Can't imagine that's an hard buy-in, but he was saying it was difficult, and like
yeah,
people want like big money and stuff, and
yeah. I listened to a bit of that the interview that he did with him, and he was
uh,
saying yeah, he was struggling, and like I said, when I had a bit of a chat with him last year, he was saying, "Look, I understand why you're going, and I'm kind of on board with it, but will you just hang on for now because I'm struggling getting on and then running to replace you type of thing." And I was coming up with a few suggestions and things like that, but he was like, "Yeah, but no," and stuff like that. So yeah,
yeah.
it seemed like it was hard work. So I don't know how they've got about the lad Warren coming in, whether he approached them or whether they've approached him. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah, they seem to have done all right in the end.
yeah. I think watch out because there's a new Dawn coming at Rochdale, eh, mate?
Well,
Like
yeah,
rolling back
hopefully.
the years.
Yeah, yeah, scored a couple at the weekend. Roll back the years. Yeah,
Doesn't leave you, mate, does it?
but yeah, it's different because there's a lot of young lads, really young, talented lads there, very raw, that just need a bit of guidance, a bit of coaching. That hopefully I can kind of bring that to the table, just a little bit of a bit of my experience and give them a bit of nous. Uh,
So you're going to do a bit of that, mate, behind the scenes a little bit, and then you're on field coaching them from the position you play, aren't you?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I still wanted to kind of play. I didn't want to go straight into a coaching role or anything like that. I still felt like I want to.
Contribute.
Yeah, I want to contribute,
Yeah,
and I probably don't have the time to kind of coach at the moment. Like I said, with my kids being young uh,
yeah,
and Claire playing quite a lot of sport as well, I was looking forward to actually just taking a bit more of a backward step from Sedge because I mean, wasn't doing any coaching in my last years at Sedge, but it was quite intense that
yeah,
do a lot of video analysis and we'd watch and we'd discuss things and we'd come up with plans and stuff like that. Ultimately, Bazza kind of came up with all those, but we kind of agree on them as like a senior leadership team, like me, Riles, and a few others. Uh,
yeah,
so it was like quite intense, like mentally getting ready for games and stuff like that. But that's probably why that we won the league last year and why they're doing so well now because he doesn't leave any stones unturned. Bazza, he's really into
yeah,
it. So I was kind of looking forward to yeah, just taking a bit of a backward step and knowing that yeah, I can just rock up a bit late maybe on a Tuesday and Thursday if I've had a bit of a hard day with the kids uh,
yeah,
and maybe miss a couple of sessions if I'm snowed under at work and stuff like that, and I didn't have that pressure of always having to train uh,
yeah,
and just playing mainly on a Saturdays really. But as I've gone to Rochdale, the kind of competitor in me has kind of thought, right, no, I want to make sure the lads are the best versions of themselves they can be. So it's like, right, how can we improve? How can we do this? How can we do that? So I've ended up
yeah.
taking a bit on board myself, like doing a bit of video analysis and stuff like that. So
It's
uh,
just in you, mate. There's no up with that, is there?
yeah, I just want to win, and yeah, I was struggling to kind of see some of the different systems that were going on that I was just not used to really. Like I was used to kind of playing a
Yeah,
certain way at Sedge, and it just became so easy to me that I thought, let's try this, and so we kind of tried to implement it at Rochdale, and it's going all right, but it's just not kind of the same. It sometimes breaks down after like one or two phases because it's not
yeah.
quite as drilled into
That's
us.
it. It's just something you've got to get used to, mate. That isn't it? The odd drop ball or a missed throw line out or a lost scrum. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, some things
right.
you kind of like take for granted at Sedge levels, like when you
Yeah,
kick the line out, you just know you're going to get the ball, but it's like, oh,
yeah.
it's bad.
Especially when you go viral for that little move you've done, you and Ben.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've never been able to do that one again since.
I can't imagine you'd have, yeah, to be honest with you, mate. Right, so I've got some daft questions for you, mate, before we move on. So, any
Yeah.
pre-match superstitions?
No, not really. Probably the most superstitious one. I used to go in the cubicle on the right hand side at Sedge because we'd have two cubicles, but I'd always go to the one on the right hand side for some reason. I don't know why, because I'm not really superstitious or anything like that. But
Yeah,
uh, yeah, if if the left one was empty and the right one was full, I'd
you'd
go
wear.
back. I'd go back inside and wait, and then go back in. It just always seemed to like, yeah, we always used to win when I was having a crap in the right hand toilet.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. Makes sense, doesn't it? So the tough, you might not know the name, mate, but you might know the position in the club they were at. But the toughest player you played with and against.
uh, Toughest,
Definition of
like,
tough's different as well, in it for everybody.
yeah, I mean, tough as in like big, strong, uh, and hard. Probably played with Gaz Rawlins. He played with him at Fylde and at Lancashire. There's a few good stories about him on nights out and stuff like that, where he gets a bit of a reputation. Probably
Yeah,
played against. I played with him as well, actually. Krause, Johan Krause from Sedge.
yeah.
Played against him a couple of times, and he was number 8. And I just used to pray that he didn't pick up off the back of a ruck because he was about 6'8", angry South African. Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm defending it.
Straight line it, yeah.
I'm defending at 10, thinking, "Oh, just don't."
Yeah.
But then, luckily, I went and played with Krause for many a year at Sedge as well. So I got to play with him as well as against him.
Yeah. Right, mate. So your favourite away ground?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I mean, there's some nice like stadiums that I played in, like I say, down to Moden Park, and then I played up at Newcastle the other week in a charity game at Kingston Park. But I think the nicest I'd go with, what's it called, Wharfdale. What's the ground called? The Avenue or something like that.
What is that like? Quite scenic up there.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah.
It's in the Yorkshire Dales. I think it's a little town
Right.
called Settle. Really nice, idyllic picture background.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the crowd there as well. Actually, they got a little stand, and they all bang on the hoardings, and the guy on the PA system, he's brilliant. He gives you a bit of abuse and stuff like that. So I always enjoy playing away at Wharfdale. We had a couple of night games there. So yeah, I've always enjoyed playing there. Similar as where is it called? Luctonians, Mortimer Park, I think that's called. Yeah, Luctonians is kind of in the middle of nowhere as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice setting in the countryside, and they all get very, very vocal and banging on the hoardings as well there as well. So yeah, always enjoy kind of playing at those two grounds, even though you know
Oh,
you're
good,
in for a
mate.
really tough afternoon.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Well, no game's easy, is it? Especially like you're saying night games and people have been in work all day and that, which you was yourself, weren't you? And then you've got to go up there knowing you're going to get a world of shit and
Yeah, yeah.
abuse and yeah. No, so if you could tell a younger you anything, what would it be if you could go back?
Oh, uh, I don't know really. Just enjoy yourself. Maybe not minesweep at late hours in the night. That's got me into trouble a few times. So just no regrets really. Go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
But yeah, just don't think it's a good idea to go minesweeping at the end of the night.
that makes sense to be fair, mate. But you pick some shitty ones up. So you're out with the lads, mate. You've had a few, and the microphone ends up in your hand. What's the go-to karaoke song for you?
Oh, probably some kind of Oasis or Stone Roses maybe.
Yeah.
I think I used to do a bit of cigarettes and alcohol on the coach. It was never on the microphone. It was always a cappella, just screaming it out.
Yeah. You posh bugger.
But yeah, I did my reinitiation for Rochdale the other day, and what
Yeah.
did I do for that one? I did Half the World Away by Oasis.
Oh, it's a tune though.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, any Oasis song really, pretty much.
Yeah. Hoping you get a join and halfway through you can
Yeah,
sort of
that's a
escape.
good one. It's a
Yeah.
good one. That one, Half the
Yeah.
World Away. You get people joining. Yeah, the sooner they join in, the better.
The better. right, mate, I appreciate you might not want to, but if you're willing to do a 1 to 15 that you've played with, that'd be great.
Yeah, I did one actually not so long ago for the rugby paper, so it'd probably be quite similar actually. So props. Played with Kieran Brooks, who went and played for Newcastle and England, and
Yeah.
not sure where he is now. He went to Leicester Tigers.
So on, I think.
He's Toulon, is he?
Yeah, I think so,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I played with him for Lancashire when he was 18, and he was an absolute mutant. He was just
Yeah.
massive. I've never seen an 18-year-old that size before. He was just huge, and he could shift as well.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a player. So yeah, he was only 17, 18 at the time when I played with him for Lancashire, and then the next year I think he signed for Falcons. So yeah, him at one prop. I don't know tighter than loose heads. So
Yeah.
whichever side he was on, and
Yeah.
then probably Beltus. Yeah, Beltus really dynamic in the loose, and his scrunchies has come on quite a lot last year as well. But yeah, get the ball in his hands in the loose, and he's absolutely dynamite. And I actually taught Beltus. He was in my year 7 class at St Cuthbert when I was teaching there.
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
Soon comes round, doesn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. So that was quite funny. Yeah, because he when I saw him playing up at Rochdale, he was 17, I think, and he had to play in the back row because he couldn't play front row. So
Yeah, yeah.
he was playing 8 for Rochdale at level 7, I think, at the time, and he was just carving it up, just skittling.
Causing carnage.
Yeah, absolute
Yeah.
carnage. And he came down to Sedge for a few seasons, and he didn't quite do the same thing there. But when he was injury free, he was pretty good. But
Right.
unfortunately, he had a few little niggles where we didn't really. I don't think we really saw the best of him.
Yeah.
But obviously, Saints have signed him now, and hopefully he's had an operation. He can get over his injury problems and hopefully have a good career for himself. He's a real nice lad, good
Yeah.
lad. Spent
Good.
a few car journeys with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hooker then. I think we went with Johnny Matthews. Had a few years with him at Sedge. Great player. And he's playing up at Edinburgh now or Glasgow, I think.
Yeah, ripping it up there as well, isn't
Yeah, he
he? Yeah.
scored like 5 tries or something, 6 tries in one half, I think, a few months ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was always class. He was with
Yeah.
us for I think 1 year, and then he went to Rotherham, was it, or Doncaster, and just
Right.
didn't really get a look in. So then he came back to Sedge, and again just absolutely tore it up, maybe 1 or 2
Yeah.
years, and then got a contract with Edinburgh or Glasgow, I think it was. So yeah, he was class. He
Yeah.
scored hat-trick for us one time, and so we brought him off, and then the winger got injured, so we stuck him on the wing, and then he scored like another 2 on the wing, I think. He was silly. Similar to Matt Gallagher, actually. That year, not the year we went up with Sedge last year, the year before where we came
Yeah.
second. Gal was just unbelievable. He was scoring tries from 50 yards out. He got a lot of
Yeah.
catch and tries, but he could score from 50 yards out as well. He had great feet. So yeah, him and John Matthews are great players.
Oh, fight another back rower really, Steve, was the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just fat back rowers, aren't they? Hookers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so second row, I think I went with Bob Burtwell. Played with him. He's a Rochdale lad. I don't think I played with him at Rochdale though. I played with his brother. Although again, not sure if I played many times with him. But yeah, Bob came from Rochdale and really improved as a player at Sedge. And just got, I think he just worked really hard in the gym and just became a real big specimen and worked quite a lot on his handling because his hands weren't particularly great, I don't think, when he first came to us. And he still has the odd drop ball now and then, but yeah, he's a real force at second row. Bob, great lad as well,
Yeah.
great lad off the pitch, and loves a good beer and a good try celebration. And then Paul Arnie, he'd be the other second rower. Yeah, he was a ridiculous try scoring machine, Arnie. I always find him out in the centres hanging around. And he's just, yeah, I played with Arnie mostly, but I played against him a couple of times, and he was just so hard to stop because you go low on him and he'd hit the deck, and he had such good hands, he'd get an offload away.
Yeah.
He was dangerous. Really good player, Arnie. So yeah, that'd be the second rowers. I think back row. Who did I go for now? 7, I think. Evan Stewart. Played with Evan at uni, Loughborough Uni actually, and then played with him at Fylde, and then played quite a lot with him at Lancashire as well. He was a really good 7. Just always a menace at the breakdown, always on the ball, but really great. He was captain a lot of the time as well. Just really good calming influence as well around, and he had a ridiculous fend. He'd pick the ball up by the side of a ruck, and he'd look like he was going to go, and the defender would just kind of fall at him, and he'd just fend him off, and then just dance round to the side of him. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to have Evan at 7. Can't think who I had at 6 now. I think I might have gone with Gaz Rawlins. Gaz was a good, big, abrasive. He used to play a bit of second row, or he'd play blindside Gaz. Again, play with Gaz at Fylde and Lancashire. So yeah, really good ball carrier, really physical, great defender. And yeah, you don't want to get on the wrong side of him on a night out, definitely not. So yeah, I think Gaz at 6, and then played a few games with Josh Beaumont at 8, when he was probably only 18 at Fylde, and he just had the longest legs in the world. His like hips were up there on me, and he was like a gazelle just running around. He was just absolutely rapid. So yeah, he was a good player, Josh. Unfortunately, he just got loads of injuries. His brother,
he has
Sam,
been really unlucky, hasn't he?
Yeah. His brother Sam, he was like the man of steel. He never got injured until he was about 32 or something, 33, and then he just got loads of injuries. But Josh seemed to have picked up all of Sam's injuries, unfortunately for him. So yeah, Josh was my choice for number 8, I think. 9, I struggled at 9 actually. Who did I go for now? I play with quite a lot of like really good 9s. I think I went with Chris Pilgrim, Scouse lad, from the Wirral he is. He wouldn't call himself Scouse, but I played with him. Played with him at university, and he was just solid all round. Really good pass, really good box kick. And then after university, I think he played for Falcons, and probably had about a 10-year career for Falcons. I think it was. I don't think he ever quite was regular starting. I'm not sure actually, because I didn't used to watch that much professional rugby.
He's probably unlucky up there with like Mickey Young, wasn't he?
Yeah, I actually played against Mickey Young that year at Rochdale. Actually, when we were in the North East League, he was playing at West Hartlepool.
Was he? Because he's been around Newcastle Falcons for a long time, hasn't he? So he's probably a bit unlucky.
He was a good player. Yeah, he scored for West Hartlepool back in the day. So yeah, he was a good player. Yeah, I think that them two were kind of fighting for the number 9 jersey, and there might have been another one actually. So yeah, he was probably the best all round player. I've played with some really good 9s, like real good attacking threats around the ruck, and some who just like really good passing and decision makers. But yeah,
what do you want from your 9, Steve?
Yeah, as a 10.
Yeah.
You just want good quick ball, but it depends on the team that you're in as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, because he needs to keep the guards honest at times, mate, to give you that extra second, doesn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, you want to have a bit of a mix of everything, really, don't you? But yeah, certain teams will suit certain ways of playing. I mean, Faf de Klerk, you think of him, he can do everything, can't he? And Dupont can do everything.
Yeah.
He could sit there and just box kick all game when he's got a dominant pack, but he's also got the ability to snipe and go around the edges as well, haven't they? Both of them too. But yeah, if you could kind of pick a certain player just for one team, or if you just have any 9 for any team, yeah, you'd want someone who was good sniping, good boxing, and a good pass on you. But yeah, you don't find many of those 9s around really.
Yeah, not with all of it anyway. Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, I'd have Bomber at 9, and then I think I picked myself at 10. And this was the team I did for the rugby paper
Yeah,
anyway. But yeah, if I didn't have myself, I'd go with Jono, Chris Johnson. Like I said, played with Jono all my life, and he's got a hell of a boot on him. Chris just manages games well as well. Yeah, he's just a bit like me, just really competitive, just wants to win all the time. I'm a bit more calmer on the pitch than Jono. He's known for having a bit of a hothead, Jono, and
right.
having a go at his teammates. But sometimes I think that they need that and need to be fired up.
Yeah,
So yeah, me or Jono at 10.
yeah,
I'd have to have Riles at 12, Matt Riley, Sedgley Truck, absolute beast. Yeah, he just reads the game so well. Whenever you just need him to truck one up, just cart one up on a switch or something like that, he just does it and predominantly smashes someone and then makes 20 yards after it. I don't know if he scored last week or not, but he still scores a ridiculous amount of tries.
yeah,
You get him near the line, 5 or 10 yards out, and he just hits good lines all the time, and you're not stopping him from 5 yards out, or it's going to take a massive tackle to stop him. Yeah, just reads the game well. And he's absolutely great captain. What he does off the pitch that people might not see within the team, just amazing. Yeah, great guy. One of the best I've played with on and off the pitch, Matt.
yeah.
Then 13. Go with. I think I went on my rugby paper one because I played against him. What was he called? Chris. Oh, I can't remember his name now. He played for the Lions anyway. Chris Taylor, was it?
Harris.
Chris Harris, yeah. Chris Harris. Yeah. So we played against him. He played for Tyndale, so I played against him a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he was good, yeah. And then he just kind of went to another level then when he was playing for Scotland, and then ended up playing for the Lions. But if I was going with 13 that I played with, I'll go with Tom Brady, because played with him for Lancashire for a season before he went to say. Well, he was on Sale Sharks books at the time. But he played that year that I won Player of the Year for Lancashire and broke my leg. That was the year that I played with Tom, and he played 13, right. And he was just classy player. He just seemed to glide around, just had bags of pace. And just try scoring machine. And obviously he then went and had a great career at Sale. I think he's their record try scorer, I think. And now he's back at Sale FC, I think, and he's still scoring.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, still scoring tries for fun there. Tom played 13 that year. I played for Lancashire. And then wingers, we had a ridiculous back three my first year at Fylde. We had Ollie Brennan on the left wing, Nick Royal on the right wing, and then Jason Robinson at fullback. And all three of them just absolutely electric. Different in their own way. Ollie just had ridiculous feet. I mean, Jason Robinson had ridiculous feet, but Ollie was up there as well. Ollie had beat man in the post box, and then he finished the try off as well. He had enough gas to kind of finish the try off. Royally was a bit more, getting into a bit more space, and he'd glide around the outside and then a bit of a chip and chase. That was Royal's classic move.
Yeah.
But
Royal, he had massive stride as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Massive. Yeah. And that he's still doing it now in the championship for Caldy. I think he might be
Caldy, yeah.
I don't know if he was top try scorer last year or not, but he was certainly up there.
He was up there, yeah.
Yeah, and he's about 39, 40 maybe, Riley. He's a couple of years older than me, I think. So yeah, the longevity that he's had in his career is pretty incredible. He's done really well, Riley. And then Jason Robinson at fullback. You're not gonna. I've played with some great fullbacks, but you're not gonna oust him out of the team, are you, Jason Robinson?
Oh.
And it was funny because teams teams would end up doubling up on Robinson that year. Then them three played together, the back three. So they double up on Robinson, and then you just do a missed pass to Ollie, or a missed pass across field to Royal or something. So Royal and Ollie scored probably about 40 tries that season. I think Jason Robinson only scored about 5 or 6 or something like that. So he was the worst.
Yeah, but it just made your job easier though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Gives you more space to it. Yeah.
But it was still like really competitive, Jason. Like,
Yeah.
I remember I think it was Hull Ionians. It was last game of the season. We were winning about 60 odd points to 5 or something, and they broke down the sideline. And I think it was the last play of the game, and everyone just kind of went, "Oh yeah, they scored." And Robinson chased him across, must have been about 50 yards from one side of the pitch to the other. Try saving tackle in the corner. And their winger must have just been like, "God, have a day off." Yeah, he was just like, just super competitive, absolute machine. Yeah, it was funny actually. Every time he made a break in training, if you were 40 yards out, he'd run all the way under the post and dot it down under the post.
Oh, finish it, would he?
Yeah, just finish it. Like, yeah, you just got to finish your tries. You just got to finish it. It's like, all right. I'd make a break. I'd make a break, go 5 yards and go, oh yeah, I'll just go down here.
Throw it away. I got there. Yeah.
Yes, but probably why I've never won the World Cup. Yeah.
Right, mate. Appreciate that. Thanks.